Hi everyone, Kate here, and this week, as the hot weather seems to be sticking around for a while longer, I thought it'd be fun to indulge in some 1920s summer beverages. The recipes I will be trying today have all been inspired by an article of Cool Beverages for the Languishing from my 1927 issue of McCall's magazine. Many of these drinks are make-ahead recipes that can be prepared in the cooler evening hours to be enjoyed chilled the next day. Being rather a caffeine addict myself, my eye was immediately drawn to the coffee syrup recipe. This recipe is a bit like chocolate syrup for making flavored milk, only with coffee. For those of you who don't like coffee or prefer something a bit lighter, I will also be trying a recipe for carbonated iced tea, which could also be made with a herbal tea if you wanted a completely caffeine-free option. But more on that later. Let's start with the coffee syrup. For this recipe, you will need coffee, milk, dairy or non-dairy are both fine, and a sweetener of choice. More on this in a moment. Start by brewing 1 cup of strong coffee. You're then supposed to add 2 cups of sugar to the 1 cup of coffee. However, I realized while filming this that I didn't actually have enough sugar. It's not something I typically use, and I really didn't even have close to 2 cups. Instead, I opted to try some maple syrup, which, maple syrup coffee sounds delicious. However, maple syrup does tend to be a lot more expensive than just regular old white sugar. Due to this, and also due to the fact that I don't really care much for super sweet drinks, I opted for 1 part maple syrup to 1 part coffee. This is likely less sweet than the original, so if you prefer the more sugary option, use 2 parts sweetener to 1 part coffee instead of the 1-to-1 ratio I've opted to try. Boil this mixture for 5 minutes to create a light syrup. Let cool, and store the syrup in the refrigerator until it's ready to use. The article says this is a good flavor for malted milk, milkshakes, egg coffee, and other milk and egg drinks. I tried adding a few spoonfuls to some milk, but while it was really yummy, it wasn't really coffee-y enough for my tastes. I wanted something a bit stronger. What I did was add in a small spoonful of instant espresso, and oh golly was that good! I don't know if I'd bother making this recipe again, but I'm certainly planning on mixing espresso powder and then just pure maple syrup into cold milk again in the future. It was fabulous. Moving on to our second beverage for the day, we will be making a carbonated iced tea, which is basically what we would nowadays call a sparkling iced tea. For this recipe, you will need tea of your choice, sparkling water or ginger ale, lemon juice, fresh or bottled, and yes, that's totally a lemon, and a sweetener of some sort. Begin by brewing your tea. You'll want to brew it quite strong, as we will be diluting this later. Make half as much tea as the amount of final beverage that you're going for. Either chill it overnight in the fridge, or let it cool to room temperature and add some ice if you're in a hurry. To prepare the final beverage, add 1 part tea, to 1 part sparkling water or ginger ale. Finish by adding a squirt of lemon juice and sweeten to taste. Some ice in the glass helps to keep it perfectly chilled, and if you happen to have mint leaves, it was suggested as a garnish in the original article. It's mostly just there for visual appeal, it's not going to give it a lot of flavor, and I omitted it as the only mint that I have on hand is cat mint, and some toothless little thing is always drooling all over it. Didn't sound very appetizing. I feel like there could be such a wide range of different tastes and flavors with this recipe, depending on what tea you use. Back in the 1920s, tea was pretty much tea, but nowadays there's such a wide range of flavored and herbal teas. There's just so many possible flavor combinations. I did try the same recipe with a cup of fruit-flavored hibiscus tea, and it was quite refreshing. Well, that's it for this week. I'd love to know what your favorite summer beverage is, and if anyone tries any of these historically inspired recipes. Now, I say inspired because I definitely took a few liberties, but this certainly went better than that time I tried to make oat coffee. Oh, that was something. As always, thank you for watching, stay cool, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! This video is made possible through the generous support of my Patreon members. Thank you.